أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليًا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليًا ولي الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على رسوله محمد وعلى آله وسلم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه. يا محسن قد أتاك المصيب. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربنا. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم. لا إله إلا الله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله رب السماوات السبع ورب الأراضين السبع وما فيهن ما بينهن ورب العرش العظيم والحمد لله رب العالمين. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم إنا نسألك راحة عند الموت والمغفرة بعد الموت والعفو عند الحساب. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والنجاة من النار ومن كل بلية والفوز بالجنة والرضوان في دار السلام وجوار نبيك محمد عليه وآله السلام. اللهم ما بنا من نعمة فمنك، لا إله إلا أنت. أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
Can we do Mustahab or do we go straight to Isha?
No, you can give some time for us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
الله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. صلى الله على محمد. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه يا محسن وقد أتاك المصيب. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربنا. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أدخلنا في كل خير أدخلت فيه محمدا وآل محمد وأخرجنا من كل سوء أخرجت منه محمدا وآل محمد وصل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. يا جليل ارحم عبدك الذليل. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إنه ليس لي علم بموضع رزقي وإنما أطلبه بخطرات تخطر على قلبي فأجول في طلبه البلدان فأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيران لا أدري أفي سهل هو أم في جبل أم في أرض أم في سماء أم في بر أم في بحر وعلى يدي من ومن قبل من وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك. اللهم فصل على محمد وآله واجعل يا ربي رزقك لي واسعا ومطلبه سهلا ومأخذه قريبا، ولا تعنني بطلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا، فإنك غني عن عذابي وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك. فصل على محمد وآله وجد على عبدك بفضلك، إنك ذو فضل عظيم. وصل يا رب على خيرتك من خلقك محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
Inshallah, the recitation of ziyarah will be done after the program. Par Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. If we could have some help here, please, to move the tables in the back. Thank you. We will be starting the program in a couple of minutes, inshallah. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Testing. Bismillah. Bismillah.
I know there's many echo settings.
Delay. Okay.
بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله
There should be a main echo setting.
بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله 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 بسم الله
If you go back, oh no delay.
testing بسم الله
How do you enter?
بسم الله بسم الله
Hey, how do you turn on the echo on the thing? The preset went away for it. Yeah, I think someone reset it.
We are facing what's known as technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
FX? So I unmuted them, but I need to boost it. So I have hall reverb and I have plate reverb. Do I need a different one?
بسم الله
Okay. Get the
But he'll be able to.
testing Testing. Testing. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah. 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 Bismillah.
The best I can. All right.
Jazakallah for your patience. Inshallah, we are beginning our program now with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Brother Mustafa Salam. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أفحكم الجاهلية يبغون ومن أحسن من الله حكما لقوم يوقنون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض ومن يتولهم منكم فإنه منهم إن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. فترى الذين في قلوبهم مرض يسارعون فيهم يقولون نخشى أن تصيبنا دائرة فعسى الله أن يأتي بالفتح أو أمر من عنده فيصبحوا على ما أسروا في أنفسهم نادمين. ويقول الذين آمنوا أهؤلاء الذين أقسموا بالله جهد أيمانهم إنهم لمعكم حبطت أعمالهم فأصبحوا خاسرين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه أذلة على المؤمنين أعزة على الكافرين يجاهدون في سبيل الله ولا يخافون لومة لائم ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. ومن يتول الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا فإن حزب الله هم الغالبون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا الذين اتخذوا دينكم هزوا ولعبا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم والكفار أولياء واتقوا الله إن كنتم مؤمنين. وإذا ناديتم إلى الصلاة اتخذوها هزوا ولعبا ذلك بأنهم قوم لا يعقلون. قل يا أهل الكتاب هل تنقمون منا إلا أن آمنا بالله وما أنزل إلينا وما أنزل من قبل وأن أكثركم فاسقون. قل هل أنبئكم بشر من ذلك مثوبة عند الله من لعنه الله وغضب عليه وجعل منهم القردة والخنازير وعبد الطاغوت أولئك شر مكانا وأضل عن سواء السبيل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Jazakallah, Brother Mustafa. Ahsan, mashallah. We have certain presentations, inshallah, prepared by our Scouts 1499 children. We will start, inshallah, with a presentation by Sister Sana Zainab. Ba'awaz buland salawat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah rahmanir rahim. سفر طویل ہے راہ نجات تھوڑی ہے علی کا ذکر بہت ہے حیات تھوڑی ہے علی کو کیسے میں مولائے کائنات کہوں بڑا ہے نام علی کائنات تھوڑی ہے صلوات. Imam Ali was born on 13 Rajab in the Holy Kaaba. His parents' names are Abu Talib ibn Abdul Muttalib and his mother Fatima bint Asad. Imam Ali was the first to accept Islam along with the Prophet's wife Hazrat Khadija alayhi salam. Each time Prophet would ask, "Who's ready to help me?" Imam Ali would always answer, "O Rasulullah, I shall assist you and shall fight against anyone who opposes you." The night of Hijrah is so holy because this is the night when Imam Ali slept in the bed of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, slept like the Holy Prophet and turned like the Holy Prophet. Eid al-Qadr is special because Imam Ali was praised by the Prophet. Ali and I are from the same light. Ali is from me and I am from Ali. Ali is the first person to believe in my prophethood and will be the first person to meet on the Day of Judgment. I am the city of knowledge and Ali is his door. He who wants to gain knowledge should come through the door. I am the storehouse of wisdom and Ali is his door. Whoever wants to see Adam in his knowledge, Noah in his pity, Ibrahim in his patience, Musa in his strength, and Isa in his worship and devotion should look at Ali ibn Abu Talib. He who loves me and he who hates Ali hates me. O Ali, you are the leader in this world and the hereafter. Ali is with the truth and the truth is with Ali. جشن ولا کی دھوم ہے ہر سو مچی ہے حیدر کی ولادت میں ہے جنت سجی ہے 13 رجب ہے کاظمی منظر عجیب ہے بنت اسد کی گود ہے کعبہ بنی ہے صلوات.
Jazakallah, Sister Sana. I would now like to request Sister Masuma Chandio to please recite some poetry. Ba'awaz buland salawat.
علی سلطان عالم علی سردائے اعظم علی نور الہی علی محبوب خاتم علی شاہ ولایت علی جان رسالت علی مہر امامت علی بحر سخاوت علی آقا علی مولا علی تسکین پیغمبر علی کعبہ علی قبلہ علی مسجد علی ممبر علی مرشد علی حاجی علی قائد علی رہبر علی شافی علی کافی علی زمزم علی کوثر علی عیسیٰ علی موسیٰ علی خضرہ علی یحییٰ علی حاکم علی عادل علی جنت علی طوفا علی داتا علی مرجع علی اشرف علی مولا امام مشرق و مغرب شریف یثرب بطحہ امین واحی پیغمبر امام مسجد اقصی علیم و عالم اسرار سبحان اللہ دی اسرا علی والی علی 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 مولا علی اعلیٰ علی مولا علی مولا
Ahsan. Jazakallah. I would now like to request Brother Mehdi Mirali to recite a speech. Baz buland salawat.
Salawat. We all have had that one person we admire so much. Whether it's fictional or realistic, we all know that one person. The person I admire is Imam Ali because of the great characteristics he has: kindness, loyalty, bravery, perseverance, generous, knowledge, brief, and honesty. The story begins. Imam Ali was born on the 13th of Rajab in Mecca. Imam Ali was known as the first man to ever accept Islam. As we know, Imam Ali was raised by his uncle. As Imam Ali grew older, he started fighting wars to protect the name of Islam. Imam Ali was 32 years when he was appointed the successor of Prophet Muhammad. The lesson after the end. Imam Ali was martyred on the 22nd of Ramadan. Many people cried and sobbed really hard, but the main thing is that many people learned. Many people learned from Imam Ali, even me. The thing I learned from Imam Ali is patience. Patience is something I like to simply call knowing when. Knowing when is when we know what to do and when to do it. Something Imam Ali always did. When we know when to do something, we know that there's a specific time and we have to wait for it. And Imam Ali showed this in countless ways. I have to learn and be patient more often in my life as I grow older, so I can be even more patient as I grow. Bulantar salawat. May I have a Surah Fatiha for all the marhumin and marhuman? Salawat.
Ahsan. Jazakallah. I would now like to request Brothers Jafar and Kazim Mirali for the recitation of poetry. Par Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
जानम फिदा हैदरी या अली 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 है मोहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह अली मेरे सीने कवा है करीना अली दीन इस्लाम का है नकीन अली हक की मंजिल पहला अजीन अली दश्त में अब्र का बेलखत अली मैं मुर्शद पिका का भी मौला अली अली मौला अली हर सू तेरा हैदरी या अली 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 जानम फिदा हैदरी या अली 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 सुबह से शाम तक हर पहर हर करी लब अपने नार है रही है मुर्शिद तक یاد مشکل کشا پارس نار حیدری میں مصیبت اب کیوں سے زیادہ ہوں ہم رمز مارو گے تو صدار علی علی مولا علی حسین حسین بقا حیدری یمین یا علی 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 جانم فرا حیدری یا علی علی علی
صلوات.
نعرہ سلکا
اللهم صل على ما شاء الله. Jazakallah, Jazakallah. Ahsan, Ahsan. I would now like to request Brother Zain Hussain from our Sunday school to please give a speech. Ba'az buland salawat. Brother Zain. Okay, I think Brother Zain isn't here. We would now like to give the adults a chance, and inshallah, we'll request Brother Hassan Abbas Kanani to recite Iman Kabat. Ba'awaz buland salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Congrats to you all on this auspicious celebration of the birth of Imam Ali, but above all, congratulations to the Imam of our time. Please recite the loudest of salawats. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. ایک ربائی پیش ہے، پھر ایک منقبت کے چند اشعار ہیں. مناؤ جشن کے کعبے میں آ رہے ہیں علی، مناؤ جشن کے کعبے میں آ رہے ہیں علی، خدا کے گھر سے بتوں کو بھگا رہے ہیں علی، اور دیوار کعبہ نے ہنس کے کہا خدا کی قسم، دیوار کعبہ نے ہنس کے کہا خدا کی قسم، مجھے طواف کے قابل بنا رہے ہیں علی، مناؤ جشن. صلوات. ایک منقبت کے چند اشعار پیش ہیں. اس کے جو شاعر ہیں میر سجاد میر ہیں. ایک اور باواز بلندتر صلوات. نشاں دیوار کا یہ آج بھی اقرار کرتا ہے، نشان دیوار کا یہ آج بھی اقرار کرتا ہے، نشان دیوار کا یہ آج بھی اقرار کرتا ہے کہ کعبہ ٹوٹ کے مولا علی سے پیار کرتا ہے، اور ہنسی میسوں کے ہونٹوں پہ دمے آخر ہے کیوں مولا، ہنسی میسوں کے ہونٹوں پہ دمے آخر ہے کیوں مولا، مجھے لگتا ہے جیسے آپ کا دیدار کرتا ہے، مجھے لگتا ہے جیسے آپ کا دیدار کرتا ہے، اور خدائی کے علاوہ جتنے بھی کار خدائی ہیں، خدائی کے علاوہ جتنے بھی کار خدائی ہیں، بشر کی شکل میں وہ ہے درے قرار کرتا ہے، بشر کی شکل میں وہ ہے درے قرار کرتا ہے، اور علی کو لے کے ہاتھوں پہ یہ فرماتے تھے پیغمبر، علی کو لے کے ہاتھوں پہ یہ فرماتے تھے پیغمبر، جو اس سے پیار کرتا ہے وہ مجھ سے پیار کرتا ہے، جو اس سے پیار کرتا ہے وہ مجھ سے پیار کرتا ہے، اور یہ آخری شعر ہے، نصیری سے بڑا مشرک نہیں دیکھا کوئی میں نے، نصیری سے بڑا مشرک نہیں دیکھا کوئی میں نے، جو اپنے ہی خدا کی بات سے انکار کرتا ہے، نشان دیوار کا یہ آج بھی اقرار کرتا ہے، بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Ahsan. Jazakallah. I would now like to request Janab Razali Sahab to please recite Mankabat. Baaz Buland Salawat.
اشعار دیگر. حرم کی گود میں اس طرح اتراب آئے. حرم کی گود میں اس طرح اتراب آئے. نبی کے قلب پہ جیسے کہ الکتاب آئے. میں اس امام کا قائل ہوں جس کی محفل سے میرے سوال سے پہلے مجھے جواب آئے. حرم کی گود میں اٹھا لیا در خیبر تو جائے غیرت کیا. یہ حکم دیں تو ہتھیلی پہ آفتاب آئے. یہ حکم دیں تو ہتھیلی پہ آفتاب آئے. اس لیے ہوئی وہی کتاب میں تاخیر. اسی لیے ہوئی وہی کتاب میں تاخیر. علی کتاب سنا لیں تو پھر کتاب آئے. ولادت شہ مرداں کا ذکر کعبے میں جو در سے پوچھو تو دیوار سے جواب آئے. فقط زبان نظام جہاں نہ بدلے گا، علی کو دل سے پکارو تو انقلاب آئے، علی کو دل سے پکارو تو انقلاب آئے، نبی کی سیرت و کردار میں حسن و حسین، سوال ایک تھا دنیا کا، دو جواب آئے، حرم کی گود میں اس طرح اتراب آئے، حرم کی گود میں اس طرح، دو چار بند میں سنانے چاہتا ہوں. حسن امداد صاحب کا کلام یہ مولانا سید حسن امداد صاحب ہیں. انہوں نے اپنی کتاب دی تھی مجھے 1999 میں کیلیفورنیا میں پڑھا، تو اس سے میں نے جو کلام یہ نکالا تو یہ کافی پڑھوایا گیا مجھ سے. اس میں حمد بھی ہے، نعت بھی ہے اور منقبت بھی ہے. نعرہ صلوات. چاند تاروں کی شان جمالی میں تو، سبز پتوں میں پھولوں کی لالی میں تو، خوشے خوشے میں تو، بالی بالی میں تو، ٹہنی ٹہنی میں تو، ڈالی ڈالی میں تو، بوٹے بوٹے میں گل، گل میں بو بو میں تو، اللہ 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 اللہ، سبز پوشان گلشن سرے آبجو، نرگس و نسترن یاسمن نازبو، مشک بیضان دشتے ختن چار سو، طائران چمن خوش نوا خوش گلو، کہتے ہیں آب شبنم سے کر کے وضو، اللہ 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 اللہ، یوں تو ہر ایک نبی تجھ سے منسوب ہے، تیرا بھیجا ہوا ہے بہت خوب ہے، ہاں مگر ان میں ایک تیرا محبوب ہے، جس کی ہر ایک ادا تجھ کو مرغوب ہے، تیرا محبوب اس کا محبوب تو اللہ 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 دخل ممکن نہیں تیرے اسرار میں کس کو یارا بھلا تیری سرکار میں کس کو تابع سخن تیرے دربار میں حسن یوسف تو بک جائے بازار میں اور نفس نبی کا خریدار تو اللہ 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 دید کس کو میسر تیری ذات کی لاکھ موسیٰ نے تجھ سے مناجات کی پھر بھی تو نے نہ ان سے ملاقات کی چھپ کے پردے میں کی جب کبھی بات کی اور محمد سے کی دو بدو گفتگو اللہ 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 گفتگو کب خدائی کے لہجے میں تھی کب بھلا کبریائی کے لہجے میں تھی کب تکبر بڑائی کے لہجے میں تھی یہاں تو ہر بات بھائی کے لہجے میں تھی آ رہی تھی نبی کو اخوت کی بو اللہ 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 تھی محمد کو حیرت یہ کیا راز ہے یہاں تو کوئی نہ یار اور نہ دم ساز ہے پھر یہ ہے کون یہ کس کی آواز ہے یہ تو کچھ میرے بھائی کا انداز ہے اے خدا سچ بتا یہ علی ہیں کہ تو اللہ 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 کیا علی ہم سے پہلے یہاں گئے توڑ کر سب حدود مکان گئے یا میرے ساتھ ہی مثل جان گئے چھوڑ آئے کہاں تھے کہاں گئے اللہ اللہ علی میں ہے اتنا علو اللہ 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 جبرائیل اپنے پر دیکھتے رہ گئے شان سیر بشر دیکھتے رہ گئے تاب حد نظر دیکھتے رہ گئے اور محمد روانہ ہوئے سوئے ہو اللہ 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 ہر فضیلت محمد کے گھر بھیج دی جو شے خوب سے خوب تر بھیج دی ان کے بھائی کو تیغے تو سر بھیج دی اور محمد سے پھر اس کی خبر بھیج دی لافتہ کی صدا بھی ہے 400 اللہ 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 چاند تاروں کی شان جمالی میں تو
جزاک اللہ. Jazakallah, Raza Ali Saab. Bahut shukriya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Sheikh, elders, brothers and sisters in faith, Assalamu alaikum. ये बात और कि वो बोरिया नशी था मगर हमेशा ज़ेर कदम तख्त व ताज रखता था. ये बात और कि वो बोरिया नशी था मगर हमेशा ज़ेर कदम तख्त व ताज रखता था. मौला मेरा फ़ाक़ों में जी रहा था मगर मौला मेरा फ़ाक़ों में जी रहा था मगर वो अपनी मुट्ठी में सबका अनाज रखता था. Roughly translated, even though he had dominion over all worldly thrones, my Mawla chose to lead a simple, humble life. With influence on the rizq of the entire world, my Mawla chose to fast all his life. My congratulations to all Mu'mineen on the birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. May Imam Zamana Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu accept our offerings, inshallah. Tonight, CFK is honored to host our guest speaker, Sheikh Bilal Hussain from New York. Welcome, Sheikh, and Jazakallah for accepting our invitation. Shortly, the Sheikh will ascend the minbar, but a few announcements before that. We would like to remind you that today is the last day for the registration of Camp Kawthar. This camp is open to brothers and sisters ages 16 through 30. The ladies' Milad and Balugh ceremony arranged by Scouts Troop 1499 is scheduled for next Saturday, February 19th. The registration deadline for this event is 15th of February. As always, events details are posted on our WhatsApp group, email and webpage cfkdfw.org. We request the community to continue to observing safety protocols. Please wear a mask and practice social distancing. Jazakallah to all our sustaining members, donors, volunteers, and program sponsors for your contributions. If you are not a member, please consider becoming one by contacting our membership director, Brother Asif Patel. For opportunities to donate, sponsor programs, or help behind the scenes, please speak with myself or any of the volunteers. Let us now recite a Surah Fatiha for the marhumin of tonight's program sponsors, all our marhumin and the marhumin of the Ummah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. I would now like to request the Sheikh to please ascend the member. Ba'awaz Buland Salawat.
رحم الله من يقرأ سورة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية مولانا أمير المؤمنين صلوات الله محمد وآله. صلى على وقد قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الحكيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله استفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي الملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد. Your second salawat for love of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. And your loudest salawat is congratulations to the master of our time, Sahibul Asri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, As'adallah ayyamana wa ayyamakum, kullu aam wa antum bikhair, inshallah. My congratulations to you. May Allah make this a day of blessings for us that we mention the birth of our master in the blessed month of Rajab. These are very holy and special days for us that contain within them many benefits that we should take advantage of. My goal in tonight's conversation is the increase of ma'rifat and understanding of who is our Imam and increasing the love that we have for our Imam. As such, it's appropriate that as we're on the 11th of Rajab, that yesterday or today during the day marks the wiladat of our now 9th Imam Muhammad ibn Ali at-Taqi al-Jawad alayhi salam. If you don't have a problem, we'll start with mentioning some of the fadail of Imam al-Jawad, if that's all right. Everybody's awake? If you go to sleep, I stop. All right? Once I can hear you, I know you're awake. Once you stop answering me, Allah, majlis finished. Milad finished. Done? All right. In honor of this personality of the 9th Imam is a unique and special person within the history of all of the A'immah alayhimus salam. To the extent where, with regards to the 9th Imam, his father, Ali ibn Musa al-Rida alayhi salam, makes a statement that has not been made before about any other Imam. Imam Rida says, هذا المولود المبارك الذي لم يولد مثلها أعظم بركة على شيعتنا. You understood? Okay, move on. Imam Rida says, this son of mine, this mutabarrik son of mine, there has not been a child born more mutabarrik than him upon our Shia. Meaning that in the history of Islam, we're here to discuss 13th Rajab, Mawla Ali. But Imam Rida is making a very powerful statement that greater than this son of mine, there has been no one more mutabarrik born upon our Shia. The reality of this statement, the depth of this statement is something that if we spent all night discussing it, I can tell you, I recently did. I did all of my analysis, I researched as much as I could, and I spoke for 40 minutes on this topic. Then I spoke to another cleric who presented a completely different perspective on the entire topic and brought it somewhere else. Meaning that if we tried to encompass what did Imam Rida mean by saying that there's no one more special or bountiful upon our Shia than this birth of this child, it would be something that we can't encompass in a discussion. Meaning the more we understand how important the wiladat of Imam al-Jawad was. Which is why for us it's a day of celebration. لذلك, that's why before we continue, one salawat for the birth of Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa. We'll mention 2 points within this. First, to say Imam al-Jawad is that Imam by whose birth he proves the imamat of his father. That's an unusual characteristic. You see, every Imam, their imamat is proved by their father. The father proves the imamat of the son. Except in this case, that the imamat of Imam Rida is proven by the birth of Imam al-Jawad. How? You see, an imam is kamil. Kamil means that he is complete and perfect. There is no imam. It is impossible for an imam to have any shortcoming in his intellect or in his physical presence. Why? Because we would say that if an imam is incomplete in some way, that means that the people that he's in charge of are more complete than him. That's not possible. How can the leader be less than his followers? But you see, Imam Rida, though there's no, mashallah, shortcoming mentally, no shortcoming physically, the one place that people picked a problem with Imam Rida was that they said that for you to be kamil, you need to have children. And at the time, at the Shahadat of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, a sect was established called the Waqafiyya. The Waqafiyya were those who stopped. These people said that Imam Musa al-Kadhim was the last Imam, and after him there is no Imam. They said, we don't know where Imamate goes. When people said, go to Ali ibn Musa, go to Abu al-Hasan, go to Imam Rada, they said, Imam Rada has no children. How could he be the Imam if he has no children? So this entire sect established itself on the basis of saying that since Imam Rada has no children, how can he be the Imam? Because we know that an Imam, his son is the Imam. And if this Imam has no son, then how can he be the Imam? So simply by the birth of Imam al-Jawad, all those who contested the ability of Imam Rada to be an Imam were silenced, and the entire sect was finished off. That this one child, his birth, was something that demonstrated that Imam Rada is kamil in front of the people, and that his imamat is valid, and that those who claimed that his imamat is invalid, they were all wrong, and that Imam al-Jawad kept the Shia together by proving through his birth the imamat of his father Ali ibn Musa al-Rida alayhi salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second way that this statement of Imam al-Jawad being mutabarrik, being the one who is full of bounty and blessing upon the Shia, is true, that through the imamat of Imam al-Jawad, it proved the validity of the imams after him. You see, Imam al-Jawad's imamat begins when he is 9 years old, 8 or 9. The idea that an 8 or 9-year-old, let's say 9, for argument's sake, we'll say 9. A 9-year-old could be an imam was something that was against the intellect of the people. You see, in the Arab existed a concept of ageism, where, for example, that they believe that you have to be mature or an adult to have a position of authority. And prior to Imam al-Jawad, all of the imams were people who were mature. All of them received the mansab of imamat when they were in a state of maturity and they led the people. This ageism we saw before as well too. At the shahadat of our holy prophet, when Imam Ali stepped forward to be the Khalifa of the time, they said, you're a boy of 33. There are men of 60 and 50 who are older than you. How can we accept you to be the imam or leader of our people when they're elders? Meaning the concept of ageism was a problem within society. Now when Imam al-Jawad comes forward and is the imam and he's at the age of 9, people questioned, how is it possible? How can it happen for a child of 9 to be the imam? And they questioned Imam al-Jawad famously. Yahya bin Akhdam, the judge of the time, brought questions to Imam al-Jawad. They asked Imam al-Jawad to present miracles. Imam al-Jawad proved his imamat to such an extent that his imamat at the age of 9 that was questioned after him, whether it was Imam al-Hadi, Imam al-Askari, or the fact that the Imam of our time, Sahib al-Asri was Zaman, begins his imamat at the age of 5. No one dared to question how is it possible for a young man of this age to go and become an imam, because they had seen that Imam al-Jawad had proven without a doubt that the authority of Allah is something that is not tied to an age of a person, but rather it is tied to the wisdom and authority of Allah, and Allah may choose whomever He pleases to endow them with the authority of imamat, whether they be at the age of 9 or at an age greater than that. This exact point, that Allah can raise the status of even a 9-year-old to be the authority upon all of humanity, was one of the reasons why Imam al-Jawad himself, over 200 scholars of the time are registered as students of Imam al-Jawad. Meaning men of great ages, of maturity, who studied with his father, who had written books and volumes, were the ones who were forced to come to the Imam when he was at the age of 9, 10, 11. And they said, we found nothing from this Imam except for the knowledge that Allah has endowed him with. This imamat of Imam al-Jawad proved the imamat of all those that came after him, as well as it proved something else. You ready? Turn back now to Dawat Dhul Ashira. When our Prophet announced to his family the message of Islam, Ali ibn Abi Talib was maybe 9 years of age. When Rasulullah called out, who will be my successor? Who will be my inheritor? Who will be my aid in this affair? No one in that gathering stood up except for this one 9-year-old who stood up and said, Ya Rasulullah, I will be your supporter. Rasulullah said, Ali, sit down. Again, Rasulullah called out, who will be my aid? Who will be my successor? No one stood up but this boy of 9 years of age. Again, Rasulullah said, Ali, sit down. When the third time Rasulullah calls out and he says, who will be my aid? Who will be my successor? Who will be my brother in this affair? Again, it is only Ali ibn Abi Talib that stands up. Now Rasulullah turns and says, Hada wali, hada wasi, hada akhi, hada warithi. This is Ali, my brother, my successor, my inheritor, my supporter, who will be the one in charge after me. This means that it proves wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib was not something that needed to be proven at 33. Wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib was established at the age of 9, like his grandson Muhammad ibn Ali al-Jawad alayhi salam. Ya Ali, you're awake? Don't go to sleep on me. I have a lot that I want to say still. There's more in my heart. The wilayat of Imam Ali is something that is one of the desires to talk about. When we say that Allah establishes the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib, it should be sufficient for humanity to see that Allah has anointed one, it is sufficient. But Allah Himself says that when I anoint someone, I give them the characteristics that prove their authority. Look at the Quran. The fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib are filled in the Quran. The ulama have written over 500 verses talk about the wilayah and the authority of Ali ibn Abi Talib. We'll talk about one today that maybe you haven't heard of. In Surah Baqarah, verse number 246, starts a conversation about Bani Israel. In verse 246, the Bani Israel go to the Prophet of their time and they say, O Prophet of Allah, appoint for us a king that we may go and we may fight against our enemies. He said, you see, every nation seems to have a king, and the king is the leader who then defends the nation and grows the nation and protects the people. And we, the Bani Israel, we have a prophet. Yes, we have guidance from Allah, but we don't have a leader, so to speak. The Prophet says, but what if Allah commands you to fight and to follow someone and you refuse to listen? The Bani Israel said, why would we refuse to listen? These people, they've oppressed us. They've come out against us. We want to have a king that will fight them under this king, and we'll have a leader under this authority. The Prophet says, okay, I'll ask Allah. And sure enough, in verse 247, it says that this Prophet made dua and Allah appointed for them a king. And the king was Talut, or in English refer to him as Saul. When this Talut was appointed as a king over the Bani Israel in the Quran, in verse 247, they complained, him, he's going to be our king. We are more worthy to be a king than Talut. We are the possessors of wealth. How is it that Talut can be a king over us? Meaning that people complained. They saw Talut was a young man who did not come from a wealthy family, who was not well known in society, who was not from one of the honorary people or wealthy people. And the people complained. They said, how can he be the king? We are more older than him. We are more respectable than him. We are more honorable in society. And we have a lot more money than him. In reply to this, Allah says in the Quran, قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ أَسْتَفَاهُ, that the Prophet replied to them and he says that Allah is the one who has chosen him and made him the authority over you. وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ, that Allah has chosen him as the authority over you and has increased in him a lot in terms of knowledge and strength. And that Allah is the one who retains the right to appoint whoever He chooses in authority. This verse tells us that when Allah chooses an authority over the people other than the Nabi, the proof on the people that he is the authority of Allah over them is that that person should possess knowledge and strength in such a way that no one can compete with him. Therefore, when we say that Ali ibn Abi Talib is the divinely appointed successor of Rasulullah, when we say that Ali ibn Abi Talib is the one that Allah has chosen to be the authority on this earth, in him then we should see the characteristics of knowledge and strength such that there is no comparison to them in Ali. So shall we look for them then? Shall we discuss it then? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. If we wanted to see the knowledge of Ali ibn Abi Talib, it would be sufficient for us to say, Ana madinatul ilm wa aliyun babuha. That I am the city of knowledge and Ali is the door. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْمَدِينَةَ يَأْتِ مِنْ بَابِهَا. And whoever intends to come to the city of knowledge should come through its door. That's why it's very funny when other people said, yes, Ali may be the door of knowledge, but he is the window of knowledge. What do you do with the window of knowledge? Rasulullah is telling you, if you're going to come to me, come through the door. What's the point of the window? Anyway, it would be sufficient. But if we wanted to see, we could see the knowledge of Ali ibn Abi Talib in his speeches. Turn to Nahj al-Balagha. Within Nahj al-Balagha, there are two sermons that I'll mention to you. One is known as the sermon without the letter alif. In this sermon, Amir al-Mu'mineen gives an entire sermon without the use of the letter alif, which is within itself an anomaly in the Arabic language to be able to have the eloquence to do it. The other, if this wasn't sufficient, is that there is a khutbah of Amir al-Mu'mineen in Nahj al-Balagha without using any of the letters that have dots. Let me explain something. The Arabic language is composed of approximately 28 or 29 letters, depending on how you count. 14 of those letters have dots. Amir al-Mu'mineen gave a khutbah using only half of the Arabic letters. And not only did he give a lecture using only half of the Arabic letters, it's narrated and noted in many manuscripts that says that Ali ibn Abi Talib gave this khutbah on the day of nikah. Someone asked, whose nikah? And I said, it is most likely that it was the day of his own nikah. Let me explain something to you. Most of the time when I recite a nikah, the groom asks me, Maulana, I don't have to say anything, right? The grooms are very nervous about having to say anything. Amir al-Mu'mineen is that one. If it's true or regardless, on the day of his nikah, the eloquence of Ali ibn Abi Talib is something that is unmatched in front of people. This wasn't the only way. There were many examples of the intellect of Amir al-Mu'mineen that he demonstrated in the service and the help of people. And if we were to start the examples, they would continue forever. I'll share one with you. You guys are awake? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali. Ya Ali. A fight broke out between two people. These two were travelers. And it said that as they were traveling, they stopped at one point in time to have lunch. And one had 5 pieces of bread, one had 3 pieces of bread. A third person, a traveler, a wayfarer, came along and he says, I want to join you and I want to eat with you. They said, Bismillah, come and join us. These 3 companions sat down. They took these 8 loaves of bread and they split each loaf of bread into 3 equal pieces. And then what they did was they all sat and they ate together. And each of these 3 companions eating together ate 8 pieces of bread. At the end, the wayfarer who had no bread left 8 coins in front of these 2, said, thank you very much, got up and left. Here's where the fight broke out. The companion who had 3 loaves of bread said, we should split this 50-50. 4 coins for me, 4 coins for you. The other one who had 5 loaves of bread said, no, listen, hey, I brought 5 pieces of bread, you brought 3 pieces of bread. I take 5 coins, you take 3 coins. And the argument began. And they started fighting until eventually they decided, as they continued their journey, when they reached the city of Kufa, they said, let us go ask Amir al-Mu'mineen to decide between us. So they go to Amir al-Mu'mineen and they present the case. They say, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he brought 5 pieces of bread, I brought 3 pieces of bread. We split them into 8 pieces, 3 pieces each. All of us ate 8 pieces apiece. We received 8 coins in compensation for the 8 pieces that were eaten by the traveler. I think I should get 3 pieces. Or I think I should get 4 pieces. He should get 4 pieces. This guy is saying I should get 3 pieces of 3 coins. He should get 5. What should we do? Amir al-Mu'mineen says to the man with the 3 pieces of bread, he says, this companion of yours is good to you. Take the 3 coins and leave. The man says, no, Amir al-Mu'mineen, I insist on your justice. Give me your justice. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, okay, then you deserve 1 coin. He started changing colors. He said, huh? I was going for 4, you gave me 1. He says, then prove to me, Amir al-Mu'mineen, through your justice, I deserve only 1 coin. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, look, you had 3 loaves, he had 5 loaves. You both split them into 3 pieces each. So that's 8 times 3, 24. Of the 24 pieces of bread that you had in total, each of you ate 8 pieces. 8, 8, 8. Now, your 3 loaves of bread, when they were cut into 3 pieces each, totaled in 9 pieces of bread. And the rest of the bread came from your companion. You said of your own mouth you ate 8 pieces of bread. So how many did you serve to the guest then if you ate 8 of your own pieces? You only gave the guest 1 piece of bread. And your companion with his 5 loaves gave 7 pieces of bread to this individual who traveled. Therefore, if you want to be fair, he deserves 7 coins and you deserve only 1. This was the hikmah of Amir al-Mu'mineen and how he passed judgment. Shall I give you another example? If you don't fall asleep. All right? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. 3 brothers come to Amir al-Mu'mineen and say, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, we need your justice. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, what's the problem? They said, our father died and he left us an inheritance of 17 camels. And he said of these 17 camels that the oldest brother gets 1/2 of them, the second brother gets 1/3 of them, and the youngest brother gets 1/9 of them. But when we take 17 and we split it, 1/2 is 8.5. And 1/3 is 3.5 piece, and 1/9 is less than 2. Amir al-Mu'mineen, we don't want to start chopping up these camels. What do we do to solve the problem? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, no problem. Here, I'm going to gift you one of my camels. Add my camel to the total. How many do you have now? 18. They said 18. Okay, you take half. So the oldest brother takes half of 18. 9. Come on, stay awake. You're awake. 9. The second brother takes 1/3 of 18. How many does he get? 6. The youngest brother gets 1/9 of 18. How many does he get? 2. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I take my camel back. Enjoy. Amir al-Mu'mineen took the problem that was in front of them, that if they took 17 and split it according to 1/2, 1/3, 1/9, they would get pieces of a camel, which was no benefit. Amir al-Mu'mineen used his hikmah, added the 1 additional camel that they needed to bring it to an even number. In the even number, the oldest got 8. The second eldest, when he got 1/3, he got 6. The third, he got 2. 8 plus 6, 14. No, wait. 9. 9 plus 6 plus 2, 17. Amir al-Mu'mineen split the problem in such a way that each of them got more than what they expected, and yet nothing additional was given to them other than what was their right. This was the hikmah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, on the basis of which it was said, Lawla Ali, la halakatil fulan. That had it not been for the wisdom of Ali, it would have been the nation of Islam that was lost. We saw that his wisdom, his speech was unparalleled, such that it said, when we look at the wording of Nahj al-Balagha in the speech of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that the word of Ali is above the word of humanity, yet below the word of Allah. No one else has this attribute given to him. Which is why when we see his knowledge, زَادَهُ بَسْتَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ. There's no doubt that his knowledge was unparalleled. Till today, his speeches are still studied to try and understand what was it the meaning that Amir al-Mu'mineen conveyed. When we look at his strength, we see the same thing, that there is no example like the strength of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Shall I give you an example? It's said that during the dawr of the first Khalifa, a man by the name of Khalid ibn Walid became known as Saiful Islam. This Khalid didn't quite love Imam Ali. And as a matter of fact, the tradition where, for example, you see our brothers of Ahl Sunnah, when they look to the right and to the left at the end of their prayers, it's said that this Khalid had been commanded that when in the state of prayer is when you can attack Ali. So when we're praying, at the end of the prayer, strike the head of Ali, and this is the way you will overcome him. However, the person leading the prayers who established this sunnah came to the realization that this is a mistake. He knew as soon as I say the salam, Ali will be struck by Khalid. So before he said the salam, he started to turn his head to prevent the person from striking Amir al-Mu'mineen, and that's where this tradition came from. Khalid had that kind of animosity that he wanted to assassinate Amir al-Mu'mineen. In one instance, Khalid ibn Walid is given the charge of an army. and instructed to go on a mission from the Khalifa. When Khalid is leading this army and heading out in full armor and regalia and in charge of so many soldiers, he feels powerful and mighty. And as he leaves the city of Medina, Ali ibn Abi Talib is returning alone from the fields from his work. Khalid looks at Ali ibn Abi Talib alone, without a sword, walking towards Medina with no one to witness anything. And Khalid feels himself powerful, that he has his entire army behind him and he is the commander in charge of the army. He figures, what's better opportunity for me to finish Ali here and no one will ever know what happened. So, Khalid gives race to his horse. He has a lance in his hand. He drops the lance and he charges Amir al-Mu'mineen. His intention was that he would attack and drop Amir al-Mu'mineen in this instance. As he approaches Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali looks up at him in one motion, grabs the lance from the hand of Khalid, pulls him from the horse, takes the lance, wraps it around the neck of Khalid, and walks away. The soldiers now, they catch up to Khalid and say, Khalid, what happened? Where did you go? Khalid says, forget what happened. Get this lance off my neck that Ali has wrapped around my neck. The entire army gathers and they try to remove the lance from the neck of Khalid. They can't do it. They have no choice. They go back to Medina. And when they go back to the Medina, the Khalifa comes forward and he says, what are you doing? Khalid said, Ali attacked me when I left. Because he's not going to say the truth, is he? Khalifa says, didn't I tell you to stay away from Ali? Didn't I tell you not to provoke Ali? Khalid says, whatever happened, happened. Get this off of my neck now. The Khalifa calls every blacksmith in the city of Medina and says to them that I want you to take this off the neck of Khalid. And every blacksmith says, it's not possible. Khalifa says, I'm the Khalifa, I'm ordering you. He says, yes, you're ordering me, okay. But to remove the lance, I have to heat it. To heat it, I have to put it in the furnace. If I put the head of Khalid in the furnace, there's no point in taking off the lance. So the Khalifa says, what choice do I have? How do we fix this? They said, you have one solution. He says, tell me, what can I do? He says, go and ask Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. They say that Ali possessed in his hand the same characteristic as Nabi Dawood, that he could bend iron with his bare hands. Therefore, no one can fix this problem except for Ali ibn Abi Talib. So sure enough, the Khalifa goes and begs and seeks the forgiveness of Amir al-Mu'mineen to remove the lance from the neck of Khalid. The significance of this story is to say that no matter how strong, they say that Ali was strong because he was a sportsman, because he was a hunter, because he was a warrior. No matter what kind of warrior you are, what kind of sportsman you are, what kind of hunter you are, you'll never lift enough weights that you can bend the iron with your bare hands. Therefore, it should be understood, when we hear the strength of Ali ibn Abi Talib, it's not the strength of any normal person. It is the strength that was uniquely given to him by Allah that no one can duplicate. Which is why, now when you hear of the incident of Khaybar, that there stood a door on a fort, that Ali ibn Abi Talib individually ripped from the wall with his bare hands. They say, how heavy was the door? Some say the door was so heavy that you needed 10 men. Others say it was so heavy you needed 50 men. Others say it was so heavy you needed 100 men. Baba, it doesn't matter how many men you needed. No one will do what Ali ibn Abi Talib can do. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya Ali. So we talk about the strength of Amir al-Mu'mineen. We talk about the battle of Amir al-Mu'mineen. This isn't the only example. Remember, the strength of Ali ibn Abi Talib is that on the basis of which, when in the battle of Uhud, it is Jibreel who is overcome to call out, La fata illa wa la sayfa illa. If Jibreel al-Amin is saying that there is no victory without Ali, then who are we to question the strength of Ali ibn Abi Talib? The fadail of Amir al-Mu'mineen and his status are proven from these aspects to show that he was the one whom Allah had chosen, and Allah wanted to preserve and protect that choice amongst humanity, which is why the birth of Ali ibn Abi Talib was like nothing else. The fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib are like nothing else, which is why we even see that the people would be confused by the attributes of Ali ibn Abi Talib. On the 22nd of Ramadan, the year of the Shahadat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, a companion by the name of Sa'sa' bin Sawhan comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, this is my last opportunity to ask you, Mawla, I want to ask you to clarify for me so that I can understand and have ma'rifat of you, O Ali. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Sa'sa', ask me then. Sa'sa' says, I'm embarrassed, Mawla, but I will ask you because I want to learn. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, ask. Sa'sa' says, oh Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is greater, you or Adam alayhi salam? Amir al-Mu'mineen says that though it is not appropriate for one to discuss his own facilities, faculties and qualities, but Allah has also said that if we give you bounties, فَحَدِّثْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. So I will tell you, Sa'sa', I will clarify for you. I am greater than Adam. Sa'sa' says, Amir al-Mu'mineen, can you explain to me? How are you greater than Adam? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Sa'sa', Adam, when he was put in the garden, was commanded not to eat from the tree. And he ate from it. That tree that he ate from was the tree of wheat. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Sa'sa', I am one like Rasulullah. Though Allah never forbade us from wheat, I have never eaten wheat in my life. Therefore, I am greater than Adam. Sa'sa' says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is greater than you or Nabi Allah? Nuh. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I am greater than Nuh. Sa'sa' says, Amir al-Mu'mineen, will you explain to me how you are greater than Nuh? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Sa'sa', Nuh preached to his people for 950 years. And when they abused him, Nuh prayed against his people that Allah send his adhab upon the people of Nuh. Sa'sa', I am the one who has been more abused by my qawm than Nuh was abused by his people. Yet I have never asked Allah to send his adhab on these people. Therefore, I am greater than Nuh. Still awake? Still awake? It's going to get more interesting. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa. Sa'sa' says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is greater, you or Ibrahim? Ibrahim, Khalilullah, the friend of Allah, Ibrahim. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I am greater than Ibrahim. How, Amir al-Mu'mineen? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, look in the Quran where Ibrahim says, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhyi al-maut. Awala tu'min, Allah asks. Ibrahim says, he says, oh Allah, show me how do you bring something dead back to life? And Allah says, Awala tu'min. Oh Ibrahim, don't you have faith in me? Ibrahim in the Quran, Bala walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. Yes, Allah, I have faith in you. But to give itminan and certainty to my heart, Allah, show me. And the famous story is that Allah commands him to take 4 birds, slaughter them, put them on top of the mountain tops, and then call them and they'll come to him. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, oh Sa'sa', Ibrahim, the friend of Allah, needed to see something dead come back to life to increase the certainty he had in the authority of Allah in his heart. Ya Sa'sa', if Allah removed all of the curtains of creation before the eyes of Ali, not an iota of difference would be made in the yaqeen that Ali has in Allah. Ya Ali. Therefore, Sa'sa', I am greater than Ibrahim. Sa'sa' says, and what of Musa, Kalim Allah? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I am greater than Musa, Kalim Allah. How, Amir al-Mu'mineen? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, look at Musa when Allah commanded Musa to go to the court of Fir'aun and announce the message of the wahdaniyat of Allah and the tawheed of Allah. Musa calls out to Allah, he says, Ya Allah, I have killed one of the companions of Fir'aun. Send with me a guardian. I'm afraid of what that they may attack me for having killed one of their people. Sa'sa', Musa killed one of the people of Fir'aun, and he was afraid to go in front of Fir'aun alone. Sa'sa'a, when Surah Al-Bara'a, Surah Al-Tawbah was revealed, and I was sent to go reveal it to the people of Makkah, there was not a family in the city of Makkah that I, Ali, had not killed one of their relatives in the battles of Islam. Musa was afraid of killing one. I had killed in every house, but when Allah commanded me, there was no fear in my heart. Therefore, I am greater than Musa. Finally, Sa'sa'a says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is greater, you or Isa alayhi salam? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I am greater than Isa alayhi salam. Sa'sa'a says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, how are you greater than Isa alayhi salam? Amir al-Mu'mineen replies, he says, Sa'sa'a, when the time for the birth of Isa came, Maryam was in the house of Allah. Jibreel came to Maryam and said, Oh Maryam, this is the house of worship, not the place to give birth. You must exit here for Isa to be born. Yet Sa'sa'a, when the time of my birth came, Allah split open the wall of the Kaaba and invited my mother into the house of Allah and said, this is the place where Ali will be born. Therefore, Sa'sa'a, I am greater than Isa, whose mother was cast out of the house of worship, and my mother was the one who was called into the Kaaba for my wiladat. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Therefore, the fada'il of Amir al-Mu'mineen are above all of the other Anbiya, but never above our Prophet, Rahmatul lil Alameen, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salli ala Muhammad. When we look at the incident of the wiladat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, we see that it was Bibi Fatima bint Asad who was doing tawaf of the Kaaba, who as she did tawaf, she felt the pains of the birth of her child coming, that she grabbed the side of the Kaaba and called out, O Lord of this house, I am the follower of my grandfather's religion, Ibrahim. By the right of my grandfather Ibrahim and by the right of the child within me, O Allah, facilitate for me the birth of this child. Allah opened the wall of the Kaaba, invited Bibi Fatima in. Why the wall? Till today, there are those who disagree and say that it wasn't Ali who was born in the Kaaba, rather it was a companion by the name of Hizam ibn Hakam. And they say this because they want to take away the fada'il of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Had Sayyidah Fatima entered from the door of the Kaaba, maybe they would have said she chose to go inside because she did not know the importance of this place. By opening the wall of the Kaaba, Allah proved that it was not the choice of Fatima, but it was the choice of me that she entered this house. The second thing we see, that Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, the uncle of the Prophet, says that when she entered, we tried to enter after her, we couldn't. We went to the door, we couldn't open the door. For 3 days, no one came in or out. No one knows the miracle that took place within the Kaaba. Why? That the Kaaba is something Allah demanded be kept tahir from its creation from the time of Ibrahim and its establishment from the time of Ibrahim. And the process of birth is not something that keeps a place clean. Yet we don't know what happened, and we may never know until the day of judgment that how it is that the sanctity of the house of Allah was never disturbed. For 3 days, there is nothing that goes in or out. If you wanted to see the difference between Maryam and Fatima bint Asad, Bibi Maryam, after she gives birth to Nabi Isa, it said that she felt weakness. She leaned on a tree. Allah said, Maryam, shake the tree and dates will fall, eat them. But what was it that Fatima bint Asad was to do in the house of the Kaaba where there is no tree, except that Allah sent food from heaven for her? There was no effort needed by Fatima bint Asad to receive the mercy and the benefit of Allah. 3 days. The question comes, why 3 days? Why 3 days? One historian narrates, he says it's possible that it was because Rasulullah was not in the city of Makkah at the time, and that Ali would not be introduced to anyone if not Rasulullah before everyone else. Therefore, Allah preserved Fatima bint Asad until Rasulullah returned to the city of Makkah, and Rasulullah was the first to hold Ali ibn Abi Talib in his hands. They say that when Amir al-Mu'mineen was held in the hand of Rasulullah, that it said that the first words from the mouth of Ali ibn Abi Talib were Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. There may be those who criticize the idea that you expect us to believe that an infant would speak at the moment of birth. We've already proven Ali ibn Abi Talib is above the status of Isa ibn Maryam, so that's not where we go to explain how it's possible. You question that Ali as an infant speaks in the hand of Rasulullah, but this is that Prophet of Allah that when he puts a stone in his hand, that the stone bears witness to the authority of Rasulullah. There are narrations that tell us Rasulullah, to prove that he was a Prophet of Allah, would put a stone in his hand and the stone would begin speaking and declare the nabuwwat of Rasulullah. Then, oh people, why should you be surprised that one like Ali ibn Abi Talib, when he is placed in the hands of Rasulullah, he too announces the risalat of Muhammad ar-Rasulullah. And which is why it's no surprise for us then that if the one who can make stones speak, that when he puts his hand upon a child like Ali, that Ali becomes the one that breaks apart the walls of Khaybar and destroys the stones by simply looking at them. The fadail of Amir al-Mu'mineen, all that they are that we love about him, are all from the barakat of Rasulullah. If there is no comparison between Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'mineen himself says, Ana abdum min abidi Rasul. I am but a slave from amongst the slaves of Rasulullah. I am the one who learned 1,000 doors of knowledge from Rasulullah that opened for me 1,000 doors. Never imagine, never let them fool you. They try two ways. One, to say that Ali is not important. And the other that they try to say is you want to raise Ali above Rasulullah. Amir al-Mu'mineen himself declares, I have no status except for the status given to me by Rasulullah. I have no knowledge but what was given to me by Rasulullah. So therefore it is not from our aqeedah and our faith, though our Imam is above all of the Anbiya except Rahmatul lil Alameen. And he is by the barakat of Rahmatul lil Alameen that he has status. The greatest honor that Ali ibn Abi Talib possesses of all of these fada'il, there's one fadila that is the greatest honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Shall I share with you? Are you guys done? One last one, okay? All right, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa. The greatest honor that Amir al-Mu'mineen possesses, the greatest honor, without a doubt, is on the day of Mubahilah. When Allah says, إن حاجك فيه بعد ما جاءك من العلم فقل تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم ثم نبتهل ونجعل لعنة الله على الكاذبين. Allah says on the day of Mubahilah, He says, if they continue to argue with you after the proof has come to you. This verse, by the way, is very important that every mu'min should know it. Surah Al Imran, verse number 162. Very important. Allah says, if they continue to argue with you after the proof has come to you, then tell them, come, bring your sons, we'll bring our sons. Who are the sons of Rasulullah? Come on. Imam Hassan, see, you're falling asleep, we're done, okay? Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain. You bring your women, we'll bring our women. Who are the women of Rasulullah? Bibi Fatima. And then it says, you bring yourselves, we'll bring ourselves. The greatest honor of Ali ibn Abi Talib is not that he is the son of Rasulullah, not that he is with the women, but he is counted as Nafs al-Rasul. There's no greater honor that was given to Amir al-Mu'mineen than to be known as Nafs al-Rasul. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad. We raise our hands in dua. ندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز العجل الأكرم. 10 times. Ya Allah, 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 Ya Allah. Ya Mahmud بحق محمد. يا أعلى بحق علي. يا فاطر السماوات بحق فاطمة. يا محسن بحق الحسن. Ya Qadim al-Ahsan bihaqq al-Hussain. Oh Allah, accept this small ibadat from us. Ya Allah, forgive our sins and cover our flaws. Ya Allah, those amongst our families, our community, the mu'mineen who are sick and suffering through difficulty, Ya Allah, give shafa'ah to the mu'mineen wherever they are. Oh Allah, remove this wabah from us, our families, and all of the mu'mineen and the muslimeen and the people of the world who are suffering through this virus and sickness. Ya Allah, we have gathered with hajat by the right of the mention of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Bab al-Hawa'ij, Imam al-Jawad, fulfill our hajat. Oh Allah, keep our children on the upright path of Ali Muhammad. Tie us and our children to the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of Sahib al-Zaman. Make us and our children from the upright supporters of Sahib al-Zaman and entitle us to Shafa of Abu Abdullah in dunya and in akhirah. رحم الله من يقرأ سورة الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على بسم الله الرحمن. So, I have a gift. For the khususiyat of the 13th of Rajab, I've brought a gift for you. For the kids, not the adults, huh? These are coins taken from the dharih of Imam Hussain in Karbala. So our goal is we'll ask a couple of questions, and the kids who answer them will give them a coin as a gift. That's it, huh? Just a coin? Okay. No $20 to go with it? I'll give the coin. Do you have a question or do I have to ask the question? Oh, no. Okay. For the kids, what is the birth date of Imam Ali? Way in the back with the glasses. There you go. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad. For the girls, who is the mother of Imam Ali? With the pink mask. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All right. यार मुझे सवाल भी पूछने हैं यार. Have to give the lecture and ask the questions. Come on. Okay, this is okay. Who was the man who attacked Imam Ali with the lance? Khalid, good job. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, last one, hardest question. This one, the older kids, don't be embarrassed. Older kids, I mean everybody. What was the name of the person who people claim was born in the Kaaba other than Imam Ali? Oh, wow, look there. Okay. Go ahead. Maroon shirt right next to you. And if not him, then you. No, other than Imam Ali. Who do they claim? Yeah. Hisham ibn Hakam. There you go. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I'm going to leave the rest of these here. Inshallah, they'll be shared with others as well in the community. My congratulations to all of us on the wiladat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Inshallah, may Allah raise us with Amir al-Mu'mineen in dunya and in akhirah. متوجه الزيارة إن شاء الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا نبي الله. السلام عليك يا حبيب الله وخاتم النبيين. السلام عليك أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين الشهيد بكربلاء. السلام عليك يا 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي باقر علم النبيين وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد بن علي الجواد وعلي بن محمد الهادي والحسن بن علي العسكري وحجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك والأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.